Live. Welcome to the process. It is Thursday, June 3rd. I am Josh Engleman, and I'm here to break down just a two-game slate for today, coming off of four-game craziness, including the Mavs picking up the W against the Clippers last night. Fun stuff all around. Chat is packed. I see coffee mugs everywhere. Lots of, I hope, happy people in the morning, but at least happy to be here. It's good to see. Makes me excited. Had a good night last night, so I'm happy. Rise and grind, everybody. We got another one here. Two games. Wow, I sounded like DJ Khaled. Another one. Denver, Portland, game 6. Portland loses. They go home. No more Dame. Suns, Lakers, game 6. If the Lakers lose, LeBron goes home. It's going to be a wild, wild night of basketball. Hope you guys were able to find some success last night. I'm very happy that all three 3-1 series ended last night. That was good. Happy to see it. Was not happy to see Dwight Howard smash in 15 minutes. Was not happy to see Matisse Thybulle play 16 minutes. But that's okay. It's why you play guys at those salaries. You can't get hurt too much from a 3K guy bombing. So I'll be okay. I wish that I would have had the same amount of maxi that I had prior to the Thibault news, but I ended up with a little bit less at that point. So good morning to everybody. It's great to see everybody here. We've got a pretty easy one here today. Contenders videos will be out after this. Strategy show with Adam Kaufman at 10 a.m. And that will be the end of me for the day. But I'm not missing these games tonight. There's just no way. Particularly that late game. I can't miss Lakers Suns. That's going to be too good. So I think it's about that time for us to just get it started. Just finish it all out right now. Four teams to look at. Should be pretty easy. We'll run some crunches and we'll figure out where we stand. So let's do this. I've got my coffee. Cheers. Good morning. Rise and grind to everybody. I appreciate y'all being here. If you've got a coffee, excellent. If you've got any other thing at all to start this day, coffee, tea, water, juice, what else can we do? Bloody Marys would be pretty fun. Even if it's just a beer, shots, whatever, joints, cigarettes, lots of morning vices you could have. Join me for it. Cheers, everybody. Rise and grind. Let's win some more money today. Yo, Pecan, the super chat, won a super draft tournament. This show is awesome. Got 9th, right behind Awesemo last night in DK as well. Congratulations. Congratulations. That's awesome. That's what I like to hear. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here to do. Ronald Jones. Who do I blame for Thybulle? Doc Rivers? We shall see. We are kicking it off right out of the gate. Denver Nuggets playing for the W here. Let me get my depth chart. There we go. Denver Nuggies. No Will Barton, but could potentially be back for the next series. Same for PJ Dozier. That would be pretty interesting. Now let's pull up Denver and let's see what they've been doing in the playoffs. Minutes-wise, I feel pretty good about where I'm at. We definitely can shave some minutes off of Facundo Campazzo. And I tried giving those to Monty Morris a while back. It didn't work. Definitely going to do that here. Yeah, that's all looking pretty good. Marcus Howard played 15 minutes and 27 minutes the last two games, so can at least give him those 4 minutes. I have one extra minute out there to somebody. We'll take it from Aaron Gordon. Yeah, it shouldn't be all that surprising that Derrick Rose failed in an elimination game. He shouldn't be in that role. I know it's fun to think that he's good and all, but he's not. He shouldn't be having to do that kind of stuff in the playoffs. Too old for that mess. All right, I'm comfortable with 37 minutes there. 15 for Millsap. Seems a little low. So we're going to give that extra minute back to Aaron Gordon. 35 on MPJ. Yeah, I'm feeling good here. So now let's take a look at the rates that we've seen in this series so far, because I think that's kind of important. Wow, Michael Porter Jr. played more minutes than Jokic so far. 37.5% usage rate for Nikola Jokic in the playoffs thus far. I don't want to go that crazy, but I am going to bump him up for sure. But I do need to knock down that assist rate because I think that's just an artifact of the regular season. MPJ is right around 20. I have no real changes to make there. Is anybody else picking up any legitimate usage? Monty Morris is, but I don't know if that's something I could predict moving forward. I think we're pretty much good there. So let's take a look at Denver. Maybe that's a little too high for Jokic. We'll go 35%. There we go. So we've got Jokic as the best option so far on FanDuel, but not anything too crazy. And then Gordon is probably the number 2 guy. Porter and Campazzo would be 3, 4, Rivers 5. But Porter, like Jokic for 10-7 on DraftKings, not grading out the same way. Don't really like Denver all that much, but it's a 2-game slate. So the guys that are showing up here in green are going to show up by default. Yeah, Luka went absolutely nuts. I really hope he can do that one more time and put these Clippers to bed. It'll be fun. Makes the NBA more fun if Dallas wins this series. Last thing I want to do is see the Clippers move on and the Lakers go home. Man, Denver just not grading out in a stellar way. Like, at all. Let's do something like that. There we go. That looks a little bit more reasonable. Yeah, Jokic on FanDuel, but I don't know if I love him as much on DraftKings. That 10-7 price tag might be really difficult. We're not going to know until everybody's done, though, to sort of judge these guys alongside of each other. I expected a little bit more value, though, coming out of Denver, but the prices have they've come up to a point where it's a tough sell. Lakers, on the other hand, what do we do here? How do we even, like, I hope we get this news early. I doubt we do. I mean, I assume Anthony Davis plays. I just don't know how much he can play. Same for KCP. Man, this is a terrible spot for the Lakers. We have to assume that everybody that is available is playing. I just don't know if Anthony Davis would see the end of the game. I don't know if KCP would see the end of the game. Like, that's 2 really difficult injury situations. All right, so we're going to leave the minutes there for Drum. I'm going to also... I could leave LeBron there. That's fine. I think 22 for Drum in there looks fine. I'm going to walk back Marc Gasol slightly. And then we're going to add in everything for AD. We're going to say 34 minutes for AD. We'll get LeBron to 40. I think Wes Matthews probably plays about 18 minutes. Schroeder's minutes just seem pretty much set in stone. Caruso seems pretty set in stone. KCP scares me a bit. The only other guy that we need to fix is Kuzma. That gets him to 22. I think all that looks fine. So rates for the Lakers so far in the postseason. And I think this will be important. LeBron James only has a 29% usage rate. That is kind of crazy to think about. AD is also at 28. Don't think that today is the day that that's going to just continue. So I'm going to lock these guys into their normal rates. AD not getting the boards you would expect either. Schroeder is right around 21% usage. So I'm going to stick to all those numbers. If we look at the Lakers. Ooh, okay. So remember when I said I didn't think Denver looked all that good? Spoiler alert. The Lakers look worse than that by a lot. Denver is in a much better spot than what I was expecting the Lakers to be. Time to ask quickly. 93 viewers in here, just 38 likes. I think that we're slacking a little bit here. If you guys don't mind, please hit that like button. It helps us out a ton, and you guys know how much I like the likes. Ronald Jones, I changed my mind about football yet? No, I hope the season gets canceled. Yeah, so everything that I thought about Denver, just apply that to the Lakers. Jokic, Gordon, Porter, Campazzo, Rivers, all grading out better than everything for the Lakers on FanDuel. Porter, Gordon, Jokic, Rivers, Monty Morris, all grading out better than everybody else on the Lakers. And I need to take another minute away from KCP because if he's going to grade out well, that's going to be a legitimate problem. But the Lakers look terrible tonight. 2-game slate, so it doesn't really matter, but oh boy. There we go. That like number climbing. Let's check out Phoenix. Anything we need to know for the Phoenix Suns today? No Tyshawn Alexander, no Abdel Nader, Chris Paul probable. This one I assume is going to look pretty normal. We've got DeAndre Ayton in for 38 minutes. Check. Frank Kaminsky, small run. Check. Crowder playing 32 minutes. Feels about right. Booker at 40. Chris Paul at 32. I don't have anything that I can change here. This is the Suns rotation. We know it at this point. But we do want to see what this Suns team has been doing thus far in the playoffs. Oh, Cantor, don't do that while I'm taking a sip of coffee, man. I legit laughed at that. I felt it in my throat coming back the other direction. All right, so Booker, that usage rate looks fine. 7% assist rate. All right, so Booker's rates are just the same as they usually are. DeAndre Ayton's usage rate has been kind of low. Otherwise, that looks fine. Chris Paul has had quite the muted usage rate. So who's picking up that usage? Cam Payne is the guy with the increased usage. Not going to default to that right now. I don't really think that I have any rates to change for Phoenix. I think what I have is what they are. Yeah, no changes for Phoenix. Okay, so Phoenix looking better than the Lakers for sure. So far the priorities are Denver, Phoenix, LA. That's the order of operations in terms of preferences by team. And I assume that Portland is going to be at the top with Denver. So, like, Mikal Bridges is 5th on DK. Ayton is 4th on FanDuel. AJ, that's awesome, man. 1,500 bones. Good W. Good W. It's a good W. Wow, the Lakers just don't look good at all tonight. It's so crazy. And no one individually is looking all that great. Like, I haven't seen a play yet where it's like, oh, that's the play today. Whereas yesterday, it felt like we had 20 of them. So we're closing it out now with Portland. Portland, I assume Dame is playing even more than he normally does. So we'll go to 41 on Dame. We'll go to 41 on CJ. I think Nurk. Wow, they might not even be able to do that. I'm going to give an extra minute to Mello. Going to give an extra minute to Robert Covington. Going to give an extra minute to Norm Powell. And then, God, does Mello get another one? What caused the playing time for Nurkic? Was he just in foul trouble in game 5? Hey, popcorn machine. Let's go. What are you doing here? I don't have time for you to load. All right, well, popcorn machine doesn't appear to be doing a great job of loading, so we're off to Wowie's rotations. Check this out. Okay, so Nurk, 1 foul in the first quarter, no fouls in the second quarter, 3 fouls in the fourth quarter, or third quarter rather. So he was up to 4. This the right day? Yeah, it is. Okay, and then he picked up 4 and 5, and then got to. He just picked up that foul in the fourth quarter immediately, and that's what nerfed him. So I'll be happy going to 33 on Nurkic. That will be the goal. We can probably gut these rates and then get an idea of where these guys really stood. So Portland so far in the playoffs. There won't be a more accurate cross section. Dame is at 30% usage. CJ is at 24% usage. Everybody else is probably just going to fall in line after that. Norm Powell is at 18.6, so that's just about there. Actually, I'm going to take CJ down to 24.5. Nurk at 21. You need to bump him up. Yusuf Nurkic looking damn good for today, if this holds. Dame's assist rate is actually higher. That's kind of crazy. CJ, nothing crazy. I don't think I need to do anything for Covington. Maybe cut his use or his assist rate a little bit. Probably cut his rebounding rate a little bit as well. But his usage is spot on. Melo's close enough. I think we're kind of good with Denver or with Portland here. And at the rate this is going, Yusuf Nurkic is the guy that we're going to be getting to. I just want to make sure. So Nurkic is at 1.2 FanDuel points per minute in this series over 140 minutes. It's basically exactly where I have him. I got him at 1.21. CJ at 0.97 for the series, or he's at 0.89 for the series, which is pretty bad. I've got him at 0.97 now because I think that's a little bit more reasonable. Dame has been at 1.43. That is not where I have him. To me, that's not sustainable. I don't think that he can keep shooting 48% from 3. But I like my Dame projection. But I prefer Nurk and CJ on FanDuel because of prices. Dame at 11K is problematic. Everybody on DraftKings looks super similar relative to salary. CJ, Covington, Nurkic, Powell, Lillard. We're through 4 teams already. 20 minutes in. Moving quickly. Looking like CJ is going to be a priority for me on DraftKings. He's going to need to wake up, though, because, 53% true shooting. CJ McCollum has been a bit of a problem so far. Jordan, congrats, man. That's awesome. Looks like we got a bunch of W's from yesterday. That's always good to see. Let's run some crunches so we can figure out what in the world this slate is going to look like. It's going to be a tricky one. All right, first one up is FanDuel. As per usual, optimal lineup. This could look like anything. 281.2, 7/10 of a point ahead of the number 2 lineup. Facundo Campazzo, Alex Caruso, Devin Booker, CJ McCollum, Porter Jr., Melo, Covington, Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic. Well, none of that looks good. That much I'm confident in. Do I need to take a closer look at Campazzo? I think I might need to take a minute away from him and give it to Marcus Howard. And now I'm going to rerun that crunch just to see if it changes anything. All right. New update in. And it does. Campaign Alex Caruso, Booker, McCollum, Porter Jr., Melo, Covington, Gordon, Jokic. And now they're only separated by 1/10 of a point. The only difference being whether or not you get Campaign or Facundo Campazzo right. That sounds fun. This slate is going to be a tire fire. Oh boy. All right. Power rankings, which we're going to use the term power very lightly here. Larry, yeah. So contenders videos moving forward for like the single game stuff will all be showdown variety. Content's not going anywhere. Process shows probably won't be doing those for single games. It's just maybe we can do them like halfway through the day or something, but I'm not waking up at 5:15 to do a 25-minute show at 6:30 a.m. I love you guys, but that's not useful for anybody. All right. Power rankings on FanDuel. That starts off all right. CJ McCollum, obviously he hasn't been playing great, but at least CJ McCollum is like a name in this league. Devin Booker, Austin Rivers, Aaron Gordon, Robert Covington, Jay Crowder, Yusuf Nurkic, Jokic, Porter, Lillard, LeBron, Paul, JaMychal Green, Dennis Schroeder. I think it'll be important to look at this from a positional standpoint even more than usual. So point guard. You get Dame and you get Chris Paul at the top. And then you get this pack of Schroeder, Caruso, Payne, Campazzo, Monty Morris. Like, I thought Monty Morris would grade out really well, but he's 5,800 now. Good luck sifting through point guard. I'm guessing Dame will end up being more popular than I think he should be, which I'm pretty okay with. Chris Paul just seems like a tough sell at 7,500. Not great at point guard. Shooting guard seems pretty easy. CJ McCollum, Devin Booker, Austin Rivers. If KCP plays, those are pretty much the only options you have. They are the 3 guys that are at shooting guard that are projected for north of 9 fantasy points. So there's not a lot of utility unless you got to like punt with Wes Matthews and hope he scores like 15. So shooting guard is pretty easy on FanDuel today. Small forward. Really, really difficult. Look how flat that is. Porter, LeBron, Melo, Bridges, Powell, Cam Johnson, Kuzma, KCP. Like, it's not like Cam Johnson, Kuzma, and KCP are all that great at plays, but it's just the way that the lineups work. There's not a lot of awesome at the top of small forward. That's a very complicated issue. Power forward, pretty easy. Most of this stuff at the bottom falls out. It's going to be very difficult to want to get to someone like AD at 10K unless we get a little bit of extra news. So you're basically sorting between JaMychal Green, Jay Crowder, Robert Covington, and Aaron Gordon. That's not too bad. And then center is going to be Nurkic, Jokic, Ayton. Very hard to go to anybody else, especially if Andre Drummond is going to be priced comparably to Nurk and Ayton. You're really only going to one of these three guys. All right, so FanDuel in the books. Let's check out DraftKings now. At least this should look, I don't know, probably just as bad. All right, optimal lineup on DK. By the way, 120 people in here, 77 likes. You guys are doing a fantastic job. That ratio is exceptional. I don't even have anything to say. Optimal lineup on DK by 0.5 points. Monty Morris, CJ McCollum, Cam Johnson. Wow, Cam Johnson. You need that paydown option. That's craziness. Robert Covington, Yusuf Nurkic, Chris Paul, Mikal Bridges, and Nikola Jokic. How many minutes did I give Cam Johnson? 20? All right, yeah, I got him in at 20, and he played 13 last time out, but that was obviously a different mechanism. I think I probably need to take him to 19. So I'm going to go 19 and 13 to Torrey Craig. I want to see if that makes a difference. All right, let's see if that makes a difference, because I think I had Cam Johnson slightly over projected. Still makes the lineup, though, so no changes. Morris, CJ, Cam Johnson, Covington, Nurkic, Paul, Bridges, Jokic. Power rankings on DK. My coffee's hitting the spot. All right, we're stabilizing a bit. Looks like Robert Covington is probably going to be at the top of the heap here on DK, unless Jokic can run him down. Oh, Jokic is trying to run him down. Oh, we're getting close. Is he going to get there? Oh, it's so intense. Oh, 3 short. All right, Covington, Jokic, Norm Powell, Aaron Gordon, CJ McCollum, Yusuf Nurkic. So Dame looking like my least favorite Blazer. That's fun. Porter Jr., Chris Paul, Monty Morris, Mikal Bridges, Devin Booker, Damian Lillard, LeBron James, Jay Crowder. So it looks like Jokic ahead of Dame, ahead of Bron, and everybody ahead of AD. Let's run a quick Yahoo one for everybody. For all the Yahoo fans out there. We get to Yahoo Optimal. Lillard, Monty Morris, CJ, Norm Powell, Aaron Gordon, Robert Covington, Yusuf Nurkic, Chris Paul. The starting lineup for the Nugs, or the starting lineup for the Blazers, Monty Morris, Aaron Gordon, and a stray Chris Paul. And then we get to power rankings. Man, it's kind of awesome that even in the playoffs, Thursday, 6:30 in the morning, 2 games, and I still have 120 something people showing up here for this show, and I love it. Garth, yes, you'll be able to replay this video right away. I mean, maybe you can't for like 5 minutes while it processes or something, but it should just be immediate. We just here for the culture. Robert Covington, CJ McCollum, Aaron Gordon, Yusuf Nurkic, Norm Powell, Porter Jr., LeBron, Monty Morris, Dame, Book, Schroeder, Jokic, Paul, Ayton. That is the power rankings for Yahoo. And because we moved through this in a half hour, I am going to run DK Showdowns for Jay the Football Guy. So, first one up, Denver, Portland. Let's see what we get for the Denver, Portland Showdown slate. Optimal lineup in Showdown tonight. It's not really close by over 2 points. Jokic captain, Marcus Howard. Anthony Simons, Yusuf Nurkic, CJ McCollum, Dame Lillard. If we look at power rankings for the first game, last night was good. My cash lineup last night was like a 95th percentile lineup in cash. So I was very, very, very happy. And like the big $5 double up, which I use as like a pretty decent barometer for cash, finished third. Crazy. Good cash. I mean, generally speaking, that's actually probably like a bad sign. I did have a non-cash player in my lineup, but it worked out. My optimal was just so high. All right. Best captains you could have today for the Nuggets Blazers game. That would be Nikola Jokic most frequently, Dame, CJ, and Nurkic. Those are the four guys that show up in the double digits of exposure. At utility, Dame, Jokic, Nurkic, CJ, Porter. I mean, you guys know that. The first one that stands out to me would be Simons at 1,400. He's the guy that pops the most. And then we go to Phoenix and LA. So first up, optimal lineup for Lakers Suns. Devin Booker, captain. Cam Johnson, Alex Caruso, Paul, Ayton, and LeBron. And that lineup is 0.3 of a point ahead of LeBron at captain, Torrey Craig, Cam Johnson, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker. In a weird way, I actually like this. LeBron goes bonkers trying to save the team. Everybody else from Phoenix looks good. I could see that being a scenario. And the third lineup has Ayton at captain. So all over the map there in the top 3 optimal lineups. Let's check out what the power rankings look like. Yeah, LeBron captain looking like the overwhelming top option, which kind of surprises me, honestly. But it's not even close. So LeBron, top captain by a mile. Booker, AD, Ayton, 2, 3, 4. But it's a pretty big spread, actually. Not a lot of value there either. At utility, LeBron, Booker, Paul, Ayton. But Cam Johnson, he's the value linchpin that I appear to be looking at today. Guys, well, now I'm going to ask 118 viewers, 95 likes. That ratio is pretty wild. Just get it to 100 if you can, because now since we're so close, there's no sense in not kicking the door down. Chat, look, I'm pretty awake right now. Contenders videos are going to be easy. I got some time this morning. Do you have anything that you want to see right now? Any questions you have? Anything you want me to dive into or look at? We got a little bit of time. And we got to 100 likes, so you guys are the best. So I can touch on a couple other things if you would like. If not, we can get out of here. I could record these contenders videos. We can get ourselves started. Nightbot just posted it, but free projections for tennis going behind the paywall once we get to Wimbledon. So if you want to check out the French Open, check it out. Braun bounce back game. I don't know. It's hard for me to believe that he ever loses, because he doesn't ever lose in these scenarios. So I will trust in LeBron James until I can't trust in LeBron James any longer, because he has never really given anybody a reason to suspect that he's going to lose a first round series. Yeah, exit screaming. I don't get the sense you're going to be in the minority of the liking the LeBron narrative. You might want to throw that one in the trash for today. Do I think a lineup with Dame and... so I'll hit the favorite low price plays for sure. Actually, I could hit that pretty quickly. Favorite low price plays are going to be damn. I mean, like if 4,500 is low priced, then it's probably Austin Rivers. But if we're talking about like 3K guys, I don't know, KCP, Cam Johnson, it's pretty bleak at the bottom. I'd have a hard time expecting Dame and Jokic to be optimal, barring overtime. I don't know if I don't know if there's enough pay down options to make that viable. So if let's change this randomness back to 0. If I lock Jokic and Lillard, best lineup you can get to is 256.3. If I don't lock them, best lineup you can get to is 259.6. So you can get there, and it's not all that bad. It's only 3 points off. But what you need to happen is like you need KCP, Jermichael Green, or 2 sub 4K guys. You got to get like the mid tier correct. It's actually not as bad as I was thinking. You're going to need to hit 2 3K guys, though. Carmelo, Kuzma, or KCP, you got to pick one of the 3. Depending on what we hear about KCP's health, it would be KCP for me. Who would I put my money on today to win it all? Probably Brooklyn. Probably the winner of the Brooklyn Bucks series is probably a slightly better answer. Embiid's knee worries me. I don't think I'll say this much. I would not be surprised in the slightest if the Los Angeles Clippers win the NBA title. However, they have like a 30% chance to get out of this round. But I think that if they can hold on, if they can win 6 and 7, if the Lakers get ousted here, I think that the Clippers, because they won't run into any history. They're not going to run into another spot in the West where they can shrink. The Jazz aren't going to be that. I don't think the Nuggets are going to be that. Who am I missing then? Phoenix. I don't think that the Clippers would run into those problems. Now, they are an underdog in the rest of this series. But I think they get an easier road if they pull this off. And they have the talent to do so. Like, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard can be those 2 guys. Getting out of the East is so difficult. It's tricky. It's tricky. I don't think that they're the most likely, but I don't think that picturing them getting out of this series and then going on a run is outlandish. What can you get them at right now? Are they even available? All right, you can get the Clippers at plus 1,200 to win the title. You can get the Clippers at plus 550 to win the West. I would be willing to take a shot, a small shot on Clippers to win the title. It's not frequent. You could probably buy yourself out of it if they get out of this Mavs series. I would not be surprised if the Clippers were the favorite in a Jazz series. But that would be my pie in the sky one. The obvious answer is the Nets. But if the Clippers right the ship and get out of Dallas, they are my pick to make it out of the West. Which is really wild to say. All right, we're going to pack it in on that one, guys. Another one in the books, and I believe we only have one game tomorrow. I don't anticipate doing a process show tomorrow. I haven't had a conversation about it, but I don't think it's expected. But I will figure it out. But not a lot of utility in it for one game. There will be contenders videos, though. So you'll have a showdown breakdown for tomorrow's game for DraftKings, FanDuel single game stuff for tomorrow's game. So we just won't be able to do a live one. There's no utility in that. So yeah, I think that's it. Keep your eyes peeled for contenders videos coming out in a bit. Strategy show at 10 a.m. Myself and Adam Coffin. Jeffrey's asking, how much better offensively is the Nets trio to the Bucks? Is it significant? Yes, it's very significant. However, the defensive value on Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, and Giannis is staggeringly bigger than it is for Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Kevin Durant. But that's all I got. Yeah, it's the gap offensively is negated by the gap defensively, and that's what makes that series so much fun to think about. Cannot wait, guys. Honestly, cannot wait to watch tonight's games. It's going to be fun. Excited for tomorrow's game, too. So thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you guys running us north of 100 likes. I think I probably have more likes than viewers right now, which is kind of fun. So thank you guys. Good luck. Good luck tonight. We'll talk a little bit more on the strategy show. I'll see you guys at 10 o'clock.